Hi there, this is Carl Irwin, the Con Magician. It's been a minute, and I'm back just to discuss a couple things here. Um, I've got a coin here. It is a silver dollar, and what's interesting about a silver dollar is that if you rub it and you create some friction, to create significant friction, interesting things will happen. If you watch very closely, what will happen here is it will liquefy. It'll turn sort of into a liquid. Now, if we blow on it, it restores to a solid. So this is not liquefied by Tobias Tostel, which runs for $75. What happened was I saw some material on this recently, a couple of reviews and the trailer for it, and I instantly thought, hey, I could do that. I could do that for free, just given stuff I have in the house. And if you don't have what you would need for this, you could go to any dollar store, party store, craft store kind of place and probably have the ability to do everything, essentially everything, for just a couple dollars. Now, I've not seen the gimmicks. I don't know what the gimmicks look like specifically other than what I can see on the video. And I literally just saw the trailer a couple times and just my mind went to this place. I'm not going to give a tutorial on my take on this other than to say with just a little bit of creative thinking, you can do a lot of illusions that are out there on the market for very little investment. And this is just kind of one of those examples. All the colors were available to me and everything. It just, I have kids in the house, so I had a specific type of paraphernalia around that would accomplish this sort of visual. And with 30 seconds of R&D, some research and development, I was able to have the effect working. So now, is it as good as the props that you would get? Oh, I doubt it. I'm sure it's not. Is it as capable as the props that you would get for the $75 fee? Oh, I doubt it, because a lot of thinking went into the creation of the prop, and then more extensive research and development, and then production of the props, which is where you get the money. That's where the cost comes in. That's why it costs so much. Whereas in my case, I just kind of saw the example of the effect, and my mind just wandered into this arena where I realized, well, I've got props similar to that accessible to me already, and I was able to kind of put this together. Now, this brings up a philosophical issue, though, that we have talked about before on the channel. What do we think about creating methods or approaches to effects that are on the market? Some people have very arbitrary rules about this, and they consider themselves the singular arbiter concerning what rules should exist about this and the ethics of it all. For me, I kind of back myself up, way back up to a place where I say anything is game. It doesn't matter if somebody comes up with an effect and it has a very unique method. If you understand it and you can accomplish that very method, I say go for it. I don't see any reason in terms of law or ethics why you shouldn't be able to do that. The history of magic has operated on this forever. I mean, Victorian magicians, one would do one effect, another one would copy that same effect on stage, and there was a considerable rivalry. This is really ingrained into magic. It's not something that's against it. But that's not necessarily what we're talking about. We're not talking about rivalries and whatnot. We're just talking about using creativity that I certainly wouldn't have thought about, that Tobias Dostal thought about, seeing that in action and then realizing that I can accomplish that with by means which are much more accessible and affordable to me right now. Will I ever do this trick for anybody outside of this video? No. This is not my style. It's not my kind of thing that I do. But this is just as an illustration. And again, I'm going to show you. This is not a tutorial about how to do something as I've thought about it. I leave it to you to investigate effects and tricks that you have in your mind that you've seen in the market, and find ways to do it, either using a method that may be very similar to what is actually being marketed, or using a method that is separate from it, but still achieving the same effect. I've even done this with things I've bought before, where I bought something and I looked at it and I thought, wow, this is really nice. And then I realized, I would do this different and it would be better if I did it differently. I think I've told the story before. I once purchased, it's a bill switch gimmick by Gregory Wilson, A Foreign Affair. And it's a multi-denomination nationality currency bill switch. Fold the bill and it changes denomination and nationality. Fold it again, same thing, and then it goes to whatever you want at the end. You can actually, I like to do it where I end up with nothing, so it makes it easier for me to just carry the gimmick rather than doing a switch into something entirely different. But I bought the gimmick. I looked at it and I thought, oh, it's a really nice gimmick. It was going to last me a long time. It's made out of Tyvek. And this is on the ad copy anyway. I'm not giving anything up here, but I thought this is well worth the price I paid for it for what it is. And then I thought, the denominations and the way that it's configured is not logical to my thinking. I thought at the time I could do this better if I had a different configuration. And that led me to do a little bit of photo editing on a computer. I erased one side of a real dollar bill, which you can do. Took the ink off, stripped the ink off of one side, and I printed my gimmick onto it and put a wax coating on it. And I have something that is maybe not quite as durable, but very durable nonetheless. And if I ever do that effect, which gimmick do I use? I use mine. Because it suits me better, right? It's still Gregory Wilson's effect, just like this is, Tobias Dostal's effect in terms of the creativity behind it. And if I was going to do any kind of crediting of any sort, which you never do in a performance, you don't do a performance and then say, by the way, this effect is by so-and-so. You don't do that. If I was doing something more commercial, certainly, and if it had an effect that was similar to this, you'd want to give some credit. And if it was a means that is nearly identical to what he's created in this example, I wouldn't market it at all, because therein you might run into some kinds of issues in terms of production and copyright, in terms of at least the medium and the teaching and whatnot. And again, that's quite gray. I'm not sure that there would actually be a real violation there. It would be a jerk move, but I don't know that there'd be a violation. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about just finding ways to do things based on your own thinking, piggybacking off of the excellent creativity of other creators, and are you slighting the creator in any way in terms of their monetary gain? I don't think so. If I create something that is designed to my specifications, well, that's input that is not from that creator. That's my input. That's to my specifications. They don't own any of that. They own perhaps the creative concept, but certainly not any of the material development, which is really what you're paying for. Does it slight them to create it on your own? I don't think so. Certainly not if you're not going to market it and you're just using it for your own gain. Or I don't see any kind of harm in that way. What do you get when you create something yourself? Well, you get the benefits and the limitations of the thing that you created. You don't get the benefits of what they created. If you want the benefits of what the creator has made, you need to buy what they are selling, because they're the ones that did the research and development and the painstaking work to make it just right and to make the whatever they're selling, gimmicks or instruction, to a specification based on trial and error. And you get what you pay for when you pay for what is sold on the market. And you get what you get when you do it on your own. And for some people, doing it on your own could be better. It could be better. Could be more benefits to you individually and personally. So just a couple thoughts on those ideas there. I'll try to post a little bit more in the coming days. I've been very, very busy. Usually I think about summer as being a very open, wide time where I can do a lot more content creation here. That has not been the case this year. I have been running a solid, vacationing with the family, traveling around, and just haven't had the time. But this came to mind, and it was something I invented with the other day, or something I played around with and invented based on what I saw there on the marketplace, and thought I would just share with you this concept of homebrew engineering based on the creativity of others. I don't fear that. I don't find a problem with it. I fail to see ethical issues with it. If there are ethical issues with it, again, it's arbitrary ethics that are created by a panel of one out there and people with opinions. And I don't care about that kind of stuff. I care about the law. That's kind of where I end up. Anyway, some thoughts on that. If you like this effect, I invite you to look at the actual release of Liquify by Tobias Dostal and see those gimmicks and see if it's something you might be interested in, if it's your style of magic. It looks like a really, really clever concept, really well-made gimmicks from what I can tell. And if I'm judging by what I see in the packaging and what it looks like to me, to the price, compared to the price, it looks like it is worth the money. Without doing a review on it, that certainly looks like something worth what it costs when you consider what you get based on the ad copy and some reviews I've seen from other people. So just my thoughts on something I don't even have, but just another kind of angle at looking at creating magic based on the creative ideas of other people that they share. Anyway, good luck with that and happy magicking.